Raise your hand if you're an immigrant. Now, raise your hand if you want to become a permanent resident of Canada. I have some bad news for you. Only 16% of you will become PRs next year. Look around this room. That's 1 in 6 who will become a permanent resident.
Welcome to the replay of Changing Immigration Order. Every year, right after the government announces next year's immigration targets, we host this conference to break down what these numbers actually mean for real people. This year was special because I was inside the federal budget lockup at the Ministry of Finance when these immigration numbers were released. I got to see the targets firsthand before they were public. And this opening session that you're about to watch is where we explained what they mean in plain language. If you are an international student, a work permit holder, or a displaced person from Ukraine, Sudan, Palestine, Iran, or you're here on a temporary status trying to transition to permanent residence, these 30 minutes will help you understand what to expect and how to navigate the year ahead. This is the opening session from the conference. Take the time to watch it. I highly recommend this as it will give you clarity in a moment when everything feels confusing. Let's start, and don't forget to drop this video a like and subscribe.
Hello everyone, I'm Mayor Andy Fillmore, and I want to welcome all of you to Halifax and to the Changing Immigration Order 2025 conference. Canada's immigration system is entering one of its biggest transitions in decades. And tonight, you'll hear from leaders in government, in law, and in industry about changing immigration policy. This conference isn't just about information, but it's a way to unpack what's ahead and how to build a better future. So thank you all for coming tonight and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Numbers are pretty stark. We have over 1.5 million work permit holders, with only less than 400,000 PR seats allocated by the federal government. But you know the good news? All of you here today at the Changing Immigration Order are going to be in that 16%. Our job is to put you in that group to help you prepare for what's to come with data so that you can do your best and make it to that 16%. I was different a year ago than I am today, and I will be different a year from now than today. Everything is changing, the economy, trade alliances, and immigration. That's why we host this annual event. Our conference brings together legal experts, government leaders, employers to help you prepare for the changing immigration order. There's many opportunities in that, and there's some chances to fail. But we want you to succeed. And with that reason, I would like to begin. And I'd like to begin by introducing a legal expert, Veronica Dossa, our immigration lawyer, who will be joining me for this legal panel to help simplify the complex in the world of changing numbers and explaining government targets so that you can be in that 16% and prepare for the next year. Veronica, please. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Please.
Take care.
All right, we're getting comfy here. I like it. To help prepare everybody in the audience here in person in Halifax, as well as those watching online, we would like to discuss some strategic changes that are happening. Those that will affect the following groups: international students, post-grad work permit holders, as well as some displaced people, folks from Ukraine, Sudan, other countries that have a public policy right now. And we do have a bonus until the end. Wait until the end, because this is something exciting that I want to share with you guys to help you stay in Canada longer, expand the runway, thus increasing your chances for success. Now, Veronica, to you.
Yes, fine.
So let's dive into the numbers, and our job today is to make them simple. I want to get the very straightforward thing out of the way. Obviously, the federal government is looking at temporary residents, and they are looking to reduce the numbers. So what are the numbers saying there?
Okay, so very well. Thank you for that. So Canada has announced that the new student permits incoming for 2026, 2028 is going to be cut by half. And so it's reduced from 305,000 to about 155,000 for the new plan.
So it was cut in half.
Cut in half, exactly. So this means that there's going to be fewer people coming into Canada. And so those of you who are already here, it means you are part of a smaller pool and the competition is going to be smaller. But you'd have to be very intentional with this new immigration plan. It means that you should study strategically. You should make sure that the programs that you choose are related to the high demand and skill that Canada wants. You should make sure that your school that you choose is pgwp eligible. And you should also make sure that you are making a plan for your PR and not wait for graduation.
And this is mostly a message to students outside Canada, perhaps those watching online. But what about the audience here? Obviously, a lot of people in this room are excited about permanent residence. Everybody raised their hand practically. So when we talk about the transition from postgrad work permits to PR, what are we looking at this year in 2026?
Okay, so this is one of the major shifts for the 2026-2028. So the new plan has increased the economic class for 2026 alone to 10,000 seats. So it means that there is an increase. It's good news for us.
Everybody's curious, what are the openings to become a PR in Canada when only 1 in 6 work permit holders will get permanent residence next year? And this is where I would like to talk about the highly anticipated TR to PR pathway. So what do we know about it, Veronica? Yes.
Okay, so the good news is that there has the Canadian government is seeking to transition from transition in 2026 to 2027, transition to up to 33,000 workers. So the new pathway from TR to PR will be 33,000 workers.
Here's something interesting. The quota was 90,000 people back in 2021. The federal government filled it up in 25 hours because you can imagine the number of international students. And at the time, it was healthcare workers as well as non-essential workers during COVID that they needed and they launched the program for. So if we look at the number of TRs now, so those with work permit holders, international students, and the allocation of 33,000, we're most likely looking at this getting filled up faster than my fridge after Costco. And for you to stay ahead, to prepare for this when the gates open, obviously the details are going to be released very soon. In fact, I spoke to the minister recently and they're soon announcing the details. But before we find out the details, which is likely going to be specific targeted programs, we need to look at documents because irregardless of whether this opens as an opportunity for you or you're not eligible, you need to have everything, your ducks in a row. You need to prepare your language results, be it French or English. You need to have your ECA in case you studied abroad. Another thing for when it opens, if you scan this QR code, you have an opportunity to have a lawyer on standby, which means that when the program does open and everybody rushes to it, you'll already have everything prepared, reviewed by an immigration lawyer, ready to be submitted. Because the worst thing that can happen is you submit everything and it turns out your documents weren't complete or weren't properly filed. So scan the QR code if you are interested behind here for our standby service. Next, we may have some thoughts about PNP, Provincial Nominee Program. The numbers have increased, which is positive, meaning provinces will be receiving very soon, in fact, higher allocation. We'll know the numbers in a few months. But this means that there may be a higher chance of passing through a provincial nominee program, which is available in every province. Recently, Ontario closed their skilled trades program because of fraud. And some provinces are very strategic about who they invite to apply. But nonetheless, what do you think this means for us, Veronica?
Okay, so very well. So this is also very exciting, and it's so the previous plan there has been a 2/3 increase from 55,000 seats to 91,000 seats for the new plan. Now, this is a major signal. So the future for immigration in Canada is pretty much more provincial. The provinces have been empowered to choose who they want to keep. So they have categories like the healthcare, tech, healthcare. So like the demand skills, we have the healthcare, we have the trade and early childhood stream. So there are a lot more, but just to mention a few.
Yeah, exactly. So again, the strategic focus of labor shortage gaps, filling those would help you position yourself more aligned with provincial nominee programs across Canada.
Yeah.
You would like to add something?
Yeah, just to add to that. So I think the essence of this information session is for you to be very strategic about your PR. So it's important for you to be in the pool. So when you are intentional, you are able to determine whether you are expected to target the express entry or the provincial pathway. So you'd have to be strategic based on your circumstances. Yeah.
So what's the call to action here? Be in the pool.
Be in the pool, exactly.
The heated pool. Express entry pool and the provincial nominee program pools. So those are the ones we would recommend you create applications for, such as the express entry, which is federal, and provincial nominee program, depending on which one you may align with, you'd need to make a profile as well. In case there is a draw and you get lucky and get drawn, that could always happen.
Absolutely.
Okay, next up, Veronica, we are at French.
So before we go, I think one tip too is for those who are looking for jobs, don't forget to go to the prjobs.ca for it's a national. If you could go back to this one.
Yeah, that's actually a great notice. Yeah,
exactly. Yes.
So super exciting. Didn't exist before. Now there's one unified job portal where you find PR eligible jobs. So you reverse engineer. Instead of you looking for a job, then trying to figure out PR, you first go on prjobs.ca, find jobs that work for you in whichever location of the country, be it Halifax, Toronto, Vancouver, apply for these jobs, and you see on the platform the exact step-by-step guidance for PR. So again, prjobs.ca.
The good news is that Canada is seeking to increase more French-speaking people in the country. So outside of Quebec, the new plan indicates that the government in 2026 alone is targeting 30,000 people to PR. So if you speak French, it's a bonus for you. And the kick here is that IRCC indicates nclc as the level for you to pass to the French category.
Let me translate that. You need intermediate French, which is realistic in some cases. In a year or two, we've had clients to our French school who were able to go from zero, no French, to the intermediate nclc 7 in about 1 year. 1 year to 1.5 years. But that's intensive learning. So you shouldn't think of it as a quick pathway to PR. This is in fact quite difficult, but if you're ready to commit to it, or your spouse is, depending on your availability, this could be a great window of opportunity to PR.
Absolutely. So just like Max has said, it doesn't need to be perfect French. You should be able to speak and communicate comfortably in French. And then it gives you extra points in your CRS scores. You get about 50 points there. And you also qualify for French only PMP draws in some provinces like Ontario, New Brunswick, and PEI. So you get to compete in a smaller pool where English only candidates may not be able to compete. So French is a it's a bonus for you to learn French.
Is anyone learning French? Oh, très bien, mon ami. Amazing. Okay, there you go. Not everything is lost yet. There's been some news circulating after the budget came out, and I was fortunate enough to be in the budget lockup, so I remember these conversations there in Ottawa about the new announcement for 115,000 people that will be prioritized by the government as a one-time measure for PR. So transitioning displaced people, transitioning refugees to PR. Again, this is not about displaced people. So it's not this category of public policy countries like Palestine, Ukraine, Sudan. This is about refugees stuck in federal courts. So your 115,000 quota that the government announced does not touch you in the audience when it comes to displaced people. This regards resettled refugees in federal courts.
Okay, so I just wanted to throw a bit more light to that. So like the protected persons, those who have already sought asylum and they've been accepted and they are already on the path to PR, they've done the application. It's only that there are backlogs or there are delays. So this initiative is to fast track their applications. So it's not like admitted new ones. So what this means to us who are not protected persons is for us to be much more intentional because the system is under pressure. If the government is seeking to admit, fast track the protected persons for 2026 and 2027, it means that the system is under pressure and you have to explore your options much more.
That's excellent. Yeah, it's a very important note for those of you who got excited about this. There may be displaced people, but you still have other pathways such as HNC, humanitarian compassionate PR pathway, which is the quota remained the same for HNC, I believe, as last year. But I think it was 1,500. No?
I have to double check.
Yeah, we'll double check that.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the screen for people watching online. Many of you may be not sleeping well at night, worrying your status is expiring. Who worries about their status expiring? Yeah, don't be shy. Everybody does. If you are losing your sleep, worrying about your status expiring, there are some good news from our lawyer, because we are going to be giving you some options to extend your status. And the more time you buy, the longer the runway, the better the chances of you remaining in Canada. So let's talk about these options for extending your status.
Absolutely. So this is one of the hidden spots that a lot of us don't really look at when we are exploring our options as temporary resident. So Canada has a free trade agreement with some countries. And so it is important for you to check if your country is a member country. And so you can check the opportunities that it provides. You can extend your work permits if it's expiring. So you have time to prepare and put in place a plan for your PR.
And it's very simple. Here's the government website. Just type in your country and check any free trade agreements that may support a closed work permit as a chance to extend your stay in Canada. These are usually very targeted and they touch specific industries or specific sectors. So they wouldn't be eligible even if you have an FTA with your country in Canada. It would not be for every single job.
The good thing is that the work permit you get there is LMIA exempt. So you wouldn't go through the LMIA process. So that is a catch. So you have to explore that if your work permit is expiring. Okay, so the 616 is the francophone mobility work permit. So like we had discussed earlier, if you speak French, the intermediate level, you open yourself up for more opportunity. So unlike the C52, this is not based on trade agreements, but a public policy that the Canadian government is seeking to encourage more French-speaking persons outside of Quebec. So depending on your profession and then your ability to speak French, you explore and unlock other opportunities. And this one too is also LMIA exempt.
You know, we've covered a lot of numbers and it's pretty complex. We tried to do our best to simplify them for you in this quick and informative session at the conference. But if you do have any other questions, I highly encourage that you try our PR Compass, which is an AI app trained on the Immigration Act provincial nominee programs to help you identify those answers. Another cool thing about it is it was meant to help you not miss anything important. Think of it as your Google Maps. Your point B is PR. PR Compass is there guiding you from A to be. And, I can talk about our AI software all day long, but instead, I really wanted to get one of our users to describe her journey with immigrateai Global's software suite.
I'm Maria Alejandra for Bogota, Colombia, and I'm going to talk about my whole experience as an international student here in Canada and the whole process of it. With the AI Immigration Global, it is the best tool I ever had. As you may know, sometimes having this process can be a little bit expensive or a little bit complicated, but with this AI you will 100% feel like it's on your way. It's really important to have a really good letter of intention to approach the government and to share what you want to say in a really clear but brief way. And that's what the AI will help you. We'll take your case, your personal case, as I mentioned before. Every situation, every immigration situation, it's different. Despite the country, despite the context, it's different. And the AI will 100% accomplish to your case. It's really easygoing. There is no way you cannot do it. There is no way that I will be able to do it without that. Because for me, I'm really stressed about all the situations, about all the process of immigration. Without Maxwell and without Global immigrateai, I will not be here in Canada, living my dream.
Here's something interesting. I just had a conversation today with someone in the world of banking, very senior. And what he told me is there was a time when calculators were banned. Can you imagine not using a calculator and getting penalized for using one? Ridiculous. It's similar to AI. Now there's a lot of talk about how AI, is it going to replace us? Is it coming for us? It's not coming for you. It's coming to help you. It's all based on the application of it. And we are applying it to help you in your immigration journey. Thank you so much for tuning into this panel. Veronica, it has been phenomenal. Thank you for simplifying the complex as always. And thank you for being in the CIO this year. Thank you.